Hi everybody, this is Nico, and today we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to speak Indonesian. So the topic for this video is going to be shopping in Indonesian, or belanja.
So as Nico said, shopping in Indonesian is belanja. It's important to remember that you might shop in different ways at different kinds of stores. And so we're going to give a few examples for different stores you might encounter in Indonesia and the best practices for shopping and engaging with the people working at that store. So we're going to start with the greeting. Now at a warung, when you enter at first, there might not be someone there. And so this greeting is to let the person who's working there know that you are there as a customer and ready to buy something or looking for something. Permisi, permisi, mau belanja?
Iya, tunggu sebentar.
Permisi, permisi, mau belanja?
Iya, tunggu sebentar.
On the other hand, at a toko, you may not need to address the people working there when you come in, though they may address you. And so we have an example of how you would respond to someone welcoming you to their store. Selamat datang.
Iya, terima kasih.
Selamat datang.
Iya, terima kasih. And try to remember that. That's important.
So now that you are in the store, you have the salesperson's attention, but you need help looking for something, or you want to ask if they have something. Here's an example of how you might do that. Permisi, ada dijual sabun mandi?
Tunggu saya ambil dulu ya.
Permisi, ada dijual sabun mandi?
Tunggu saya ambil dulu ya. Permisi, ada sabun mandi di sini?
Oh iya ada. Coba cek di dekat kulkas di sana.
Oh, terima kasih.
Oh iya, sama-sama.
Permisi, ada sabun mandi di sini?
Oh iya ada. Coba cek di dekat kulkas di sana.
Oh, terima kasih.
Oh iya, sama-sama. Now that you've found the item that you want, you look and you might notice that there is no price. You can't tell how expensive it is. And so asking for the price of something is a really important phrase to be able to say. Here is an example of how you might ask for the price of an item. Ini harganya berapa?
Oh, ini 10.000.
Ini harganya berapa?
Oh, ini 10.000.
Now, in some rare circumstances, you may be able to set the price of the item, and the seller can then give you the quantity that fits within that price range that you're asking for. So here's an example of how that might play out. Mahal sekali. Ada yang harga 5.000?
Oh iya ada.
Mahal sekali. Ada yang harga 5.000?
Oh iya ada.
Now, another thing that we need to address is haggling, or tawar-menawar. In some cases, haggling is not going to be appropriate, but in some places, it is expected to an extent. And so these are some examples of how you might haggle for certain goods, such as those at tourist shops. Ini bagus, Bu. Harga berapa?
Oh, yang itu harganya 100.000.
Mahal sih. Bisa 50.000.
Itu rendah sekali. Tambah sedikit. Bagaimana kalau 80.000?
Coba 75, Bu. Bisa?
Iya, ambil aja.
Ya, makasih banyak. Ini bagus, Bu. Harga berapa?
Oh, yang itu harganya 100.000.
Mahal sih. Bisa 50.000.
Itu rendah sekali. Tambah sedikit. Bagaimana kalau 80.000?
Coba 75, Bu. Bisa?
Iya, ambil aja.
Now, just another thing that is important to keep in mind when it comes to haggling is you don't want to haggle too low, right? The person that's doing the selling also has to make a living, and if you're haggling back and forth and it's between 50,000 rupiah and 75,000 rupiah, really that's only in US dollars, depending on the exchange rate, a couple of dollars, and after all the expense of traveling there, it might not be the best place to try and really cut spending. You don't want to haggle them down too low.
And try to remember that. That's important.
Okay, so now you've got your item, you've got your price, and now it's finally time to pay. So here are a couple of ways that paying might play out in different stores, different kinds of stores in Indonesia. Ini uangnya.
Terima kasih, tunggu kembaliannya. Ini kembaliannya.
Terima kasih banyak.
Yuk, sama-sama.
Ini uangnya.
Terima kasih, tunggu kembaliannya. Ini kembaliannya.
Terima kasih banyak.
Yuk, sama-sama.
A good rule of thumb is to always have cash. More and more, you will find that different places can accept debit cards or credit cards, but it's really good to always have some cash in hand. Now, if you need cash, if you need Indonesian rupiah, and you don't have any at the moment, there are a couple of ways to get it. You can get some from an ATM, and you can also get some from a money changer if you have your own currency. Alright, so you have just completed a successful transaction in Indonesian, and there is one last step, the thank you.
Saying terima kasih.
Terima kasih banyak.
Sama-sama, belanja ke sini lagi ya.
Terima kasih banyak.
Sama-sama, belanja ke sini lagi ya.
Saying thank you in Indonesian, terima kasih, is relatively easy to memorize, and it really does mean a lot to the people that you say it to when you show them gratitude.
And try to remember that. That's important.
Sure, you can just splice that in anywhere. That's it for this video on how to shop using the Indonesian language.
Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Stay tuned for our next video on how to access and change money safely in Indonesia.